Hey YouTube, Twig here, bringing you all an update to my Prank Kids Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile for post Phantom Rage. Wanted to do an update with the latest Yu-Gi-Oh set. We received the new Link 1 Prank Kids monster in this Yu-Gi-Oh set. It's a really awesome monster. It was one that was always, speculated. How good would this deck be if we were given a Link 1 Prank Kids monster? Just because the consistency would be, off the charts. You'd be able to just have the one Prank Kid monster and then be able to go off with the Prank Kid plays with just that one Link 1 monster and set up some very strong, setup plays with your main deck Prank Kids monsters and all the other different Link summons you could do. So really happy with the results with the deck. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So for the actual Prank Kids monsters, we're running 3 of the Prank Kid Lampsies. With all the different Prank Kids monsters, they have different effects. If this card's sent to the graveyard as the material for a fusion or Link summon of a Prank Kids monster, you can inflict 500 points of damage to your opponent when it is, and then you can special summon one Prank Kids monster from your hand or deck in defense position except for Prank Kid Lampsies, and you can only use this effect of Prank Kid Lampsies once per turn. So with the Link 1 monster, you have this setup ready to go, basically, being able to summon out another Prank Kid along with having the Prank Kid Link 1 Mew on the field as well. So you definitely want to max out all the different numbers of Prank Kids so you have the consistency of summoning them out, and like I said, you just need to open up the 1 in your hand, which is easily searchable with plenty of the other spell cards we run in this deck as well. But for the other monsters, we're also running 3 Prank Kid Dropsies. If this card's sent to the graveyard, having the same special summon, and also making so you can gain 1,000 life while Lampsies deals damage, Dropsies regains your life points basically, and then giving you the special summon of another Prank Kid except for Prank Kid Dropsies. But just that consistency to go through all the different Prank Kid monsters we run makes this card very maximum number important in the deck for sure. Just like Prank Kid Fansies, this one is great for your setup plays with this one. Basically, when it's, used for the Link Summon or Fusion Summon, you can send one Prank Kid's card from your deck to the graveyard except for Fansies, then special summon another Prank Kid in defense position except for Fansies. And it says Prank Kid's card, so you don't have to send a monster with this card. You can easily just set up other cards in your graveyard that have awesome setup plays for sure. Being able to rely on Fansies for all that, defensive play. Also having the highest defense of all the different Prank Kids monsters. As for the highest attack, that spot goes to Prank Kid Roxy's. This one is more draw consistency. Just great to have all the maximum numbers of the Prank Kid monsters, which I definitely will think it's interesting if we get some additional Prank Kid monsters maybe in the future to match the light and dark attributes as well. With this one, you can banish 1 card from your hand. If you do, draw 1 card when sent to the graveyard for material of a fusion or Link monster, and having the same special summon capabilities of all the other Prank Kid monsters. You just need the 1 Prank Kid though, and then you can easily go into the Link 1 monster, just needing the 1 level 4 or lower Prank Kids monster to make Mew also. So other than that, for the monster numbers, it is a pretty low monster count since those are the only Prank Kid main deck monsters. For additional support, I'm also running the 3 King of the Swamp. With this one, you can substitute this card for any 1 fusion material monster, but with this one, it's more for the search for polymerization in the deck, since all of the Prank Kid fusion monsters don't have any, specific requirements for their fusions, just needing a, certain amount of Prank Kids, except for Prank Kids Battle Butler. When the situation does come up to go into it, King of the Swamp can come in handy for that, but most of the time, like I said, it's just in here for the polymerization search. For the rest of the monster count, I am also running 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring for 1 of the 2 hand trap sections. I don't normally run, a double hand trap lineup in most of my decks, but with this deck having such a low monster count, resulting in search power, and then the rest of the deck just being special summon power, you need more of the hand trap lineup to protect yourself against your opponent when it's their own turn. So the 3 Ash Blossom just help to shut down their own plays, and also the 3 Effect Veiler are my second choice. You can try Nibiru as well as another option just to stop your opponent from having, the complete field swarm, but I prefer Effect Veiler and Ash Blossom. Just stopping their monsters and their searches with these 2 different hand traps is my lineup of choice for the deck for sure. But that is also it for the basic monster lineup. We'll now move on to the spells. One of the most important spells in the deck is Prank Kid's Place. With this card, when this card is activated, you can add one Prank Kid's monster from your deck to your hand. And once per turn, if you fusion summon a Prank Kid's fusion, except during the damage step, you can have all monsters you control gain 500 attack, even if this card leaves the field. And once per turn of a link summon of a Prank Kid's monster, except during the damage step, you can have all monsters your opponent control lose 500 attack, even if this card leaves the field. So when you fusion summon, you're boosting up your own monsters. When you're link summoning, you're lowering your opponent's. It all works very, very well together. The search is the best part. Prank Kid's Place can only be activated once per turn. Remember that as well. But this is your go-to search for any of the Prank Kid's monsters you may need for your plays. If there's a particular one you have in your hand, but you want to set up more later on with those plays, this is a great search card, and then just a great power boost card to rely on also. And I also run, as another fusion option aside from polymerization, Prank Kid's Pandemonium. It is a quick play spell. During the main phase, fusion summon one Prank Kid's fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material. For the rest of this turn, after this resolves, you cannot normal or special summon except for Prank Kid's monsters. But that's not that big of a, minus. The main part of our deck are the Prank Kid monsters, and the majority of our extra deck are also all Prank Kid monsters. The biggest weakness of this card would be the fact that you can't activate during the battle phase, but it can be extremely broken. In that case, it's just another great way to rely on fusion summoning if you just have a few Prank Kids in your hand that you cannot summon out onto the field, relying on Pandemonium to send them to the graveyard for the fusion summon, setting up that special summon while also getting you a Prank Kid fusion out on the field. And I also run 2 Prank Kids Prank. Now, I only run 2 of this card, mostly because the fact that originally we needed that token for the additional monster play if we didn't have the, fusion to go into, or the Link 1 option, which we have now. But now that we have the Link 1 option, we can easily set up the play for the multiple Prank Kids summons. We don't need this token that Prank Kids Prank provides us, but having it on the field is just great draw power as well. I even considered dropping the number of this even more, but I like it at 2 in the deck just because of the draw power and the fact that your opponent may try to destroy it, and just being able to set it up for that play makes it all the better for sure for the Prank Kids cards, that you can also get more and more cards in the graveyard with fansies to set up also. For some of the generic spell lineup, I run the 3 polymerization. You just need that search power with all the different fusion plays, relying on Pandemonium and just the numbers for polymerization and the search power for King of the Swamp means you should at least always have a fusion play ready to go, which you can set up your link play with your Prank Kids monsters, and then just have the fusion play to rely on afterwards. And the fact that you don't even have to have the link monster, you can just easily summon out your fusion monster into the main monster zone and save the extra monster zone for another link monster without having to use that fusion monster for that play also. I also run 2 Pot of Avarice. This is a very important card in the deck for just how many resources you can go through in this deck. With all the different special summoning of your Prank Kids monsters, you definitely want that recycle power along with Prank Kids pranks basically being good recycle power, but also just needing a little bit more so you always have monsters to go into. You have special summon options from the graveyard, but being able to draw off of Pot of Avarice, drawing into important fusion cards, more Prank Kid monsters also, and just if you run out of some Prank Kids in your graveyard, being able to recycle them with Avarice makes all the difference if that was that one specific Prank Kid monster you wanted to summon out onto the field. For some of the one-ofs for the spells, Instant Fusion is another great option for just additional summons, since both of our Prank Kid fusions are level 5 monsters, so Instant Fusion is just a great option to summon those cards out to the field that much easier, giving you another Prank Kid. You won't be able to use them for the link summon of Meow Meow Mew since they has to be level 4 or lower, but just that one additional monster can help for, higher link summons, including Prank Kids Doodle Doodle Doo and also Bow Wow Bark. I also run the 1-for-1. This is for setting up fansies on the field, another easy special summon. The 1 Call by the Grave for stopping your opponent's graveyard plays. The 1 Harpy Feather Duster, clearing back row. We have our 1 Link 4 Rip Roar and Roaster, which can help with that. But having the 1 spell card to also do it means we're clear for all of our other different special summons we'll do from the extra deck. And I also run the 1 Thunder Dragon Fusion. You fusion summon the Thunder type monster from your extra deck by shuffling the fusion materials from your deck, from your among the cards on your field and or graveyard, and face up banish cards, which can easily be done with the banish cards you set up with Roxy's also. And then the fusion target you'll go for with this card will be your basic setup for your Prank Kids Battle Butler, being the Thunder monster to summon out, and having all of the fansies, dropsies, and also your lampsies set up banished in the graveyard or on the field. And that's it for the spells. As for the traps, the only trap I'm running in the deck is Prank Kid's Plan. I mostly like to set this card up in the graveyard with Prank Kid's Fansies and then activate the graveyard effect. During the main phase, though, you can activate this card immediately after this card resolves. Link summon one Prank Kid's Link monster using Prank Kids from you control, or when an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can banish this card from your graveyard, shuffle any number of Prank Kids cards from your graveyard into the deck. If you do, that attacking monster loses 100 attack for each card shuffled until the end of this turn. So with this, you have Avarice to shuffle back the monsters, but being able to shuffle back the non-monster Prank Kid cards using Plan makes it all the better for sure, as just that one attack when your opponent tries to attack and try and get over one of your monsters. But that is it for the main deck. We'll now move on to the extra deck. Going over the fusions first, I run the 2 Prank Kid Rocket Ride, another one of the instant fusion targets. Just needing 2 Prank Kids to make this card. When it's fusion summoned, you can have this card lose 1,000 attack, and if you do, it can attack directly. And you contribute this card to target 2 Prank Kids in monsters with non-fusion different names from your graveyard and special summon them, but they cannot attack this turn. And you can only use each effect of Prank Kid Rocket Ride once per turn. So it's great during your turn to give you more and more resources on the field to special summon for the Link summon. The attack directly is a great offensive capability with Rocket Ride as well, but that Link summon setup is basically what you'll use it for, because you have the Link monster on the field to then go on your opponent's turn to summon more onto the field and then fusion with them during your opponent's turn using cards like Prank Kid's Pandemonium also. I also run 2 of the Prank Kid's Weather Washer with this one. If your Prank Kid monster attacks, your opponent cannot activate card or effects until the end of damage step. And quick effect, you contribute this card to target 2 Prank Kids non-fusion with different names in your graveyard and special summon them, and they cannot be destroyed by battle. So this is another one of the defensive cards since they cannot be destroyed by battle. So just great to summon out and then have that option for them during your opponent's turn. While also the 1 Prank Kids Battle Butler. With this one, it must be fusion summoned. In quick effect, you contribute this card to destroy all monsters your opponent control, while Rip Roaring Roaster will destroy all the spell and traps they control. Just a good destruction option. And being able to target 1 non-fusion monster in your graveyard and special summon it when this card is destroyed by your opponent's card. So it's a boss monster, 3,000 attack. Even if you have some of your other fusions set up on the field, it makes it that much more scarier, since you can easily just get these fusion summons out and not have to rely on the extra monster zone either and the Link monsters. For the Link monsters in the deck, I run 2 Prank Kids Meow Meow Mew. You just need the level 4 lower Prank Kids monster to make it. You can only Link summon Prank Kids Meow Meow Mew once per turn. If a Prank Kids monster you control would tribute itself to activate its effect during your opponent's turn, you can banish this card you control or from your graveyard instead, and you can only use this effect of Prank Kids Meow Meow Mew once per turn. So this is for resources. If you were to tribute one of the ones we spoke of already, you can just keep it on the field and then also have the resources for the other Prank Kids come back from the graveyard for the special summon. So it's awesome for that setup play. And like I said before, if you just have the 1 Link summon for your Prank Kids, you just need that 1 monster to go off and then giving you more and more resources with the pluses when you summon this card out onto the field. And I also run the 2 Prank Kids Doodle Doo. With this one, if this card is Link Summon, you can add 1 Prank Kids Spell or Trap from your deck to your hand. You contribute this card, then target 2 Prank Kid cards with different names in your graveyard, except for Link monsters, and add them to your hand. So you have the special summon option during your opponent's turn with the fusion monsters, and the recycle power for not just your Prank Kid monsters, but also the spell and traps you run with Doodle Doo during your turn to tribute and add them back to your hand to set up more and more plays during your opponent's turn with cards like the Quick Play spell, or even recycling the field spell back to your hand. I rely on the Prank Kids Bow Wow Bark for the power plays, giving the 1,000 attack to a Prank Kids monster it points to, having the option to special summon and then also adding them to your hand with this card, and giving the Prank Kids protection of not being able to be destroyed by card effects. So you have the battle protection with Weather Washer, and then the card effects with Bow Wow Bark. So if you set them both up, you're basically making your Prank Kid monsters indestructible for that turn, aside from the shuffle back and bounce effects. I also run the 1 Roaring Roaster, basically like the fusion counterpart, which is your Battle Butler, just destroying your opponent's traps when you tribute this card. And also for the generic Link monsters, I run the 1 Nightmare Cerberus and the 1 Borrowload Dragon. I don't run the Nightmare Phoenix in the deck. You can always try, instead of Nightmare Cerberus, the Nightmare Phoenix for the shuffle back power, but also just because we have Harpy's Feather Duster, Riproar, Roaster for the spell and trap destruction is why I'm not running Phoenix in the deck. But I do like Cerberus and Borreload for their arrow positions, so they can be also co-linked with some of the Prank Kid monsters we run in the deck. And for the rest of the extra deck, just the one totally awesome, the Prank Kids Dropsies are Aqua level 2, so if you set up 2 on the field, you can easily just overlay the 2 into totally awesome, and you can do this without the need of link monsters anymore, like I spoke of already with Master Rule 5. And as for the go-to play, like I said, you just need the one Prank Kid monster on the field. So being able to summon out this card, if you were to just normal summon one Prank Kid and then link summon into your Meow Meow Mew, you would resolve the Fanzy, which would then allow you to send a Prank Kid card from your deck to the graveyard, and then special summon an additional Prank Kid onto the field. With just that one monster setup, you have the 2 monsters to then link summon off into, most of the time during my turn, I go for the Doodle Doodle Do, and then you'll resolve the Lampsies as well, giving you another special summon, burning your opponent for damage, and then also having the option of searching off of your Doodle Doodle Do, which can give you your Prank Kids place or any of the other spell support you may need. But then also having the tribute option, once you go for the another link summon with your plays, you can either go for your Prank Kid Bow Wow Bark. We're using these 2 monsters, having them set up on the field and in the graveyard, which then you can use Meow Meow Mew for the graveyard. If a Prank Kid you control would tribute, you can tribute basically during your opponent's turn, basically to add them back and banish instead, which you would set up with your fusion play after also special summoning your Dropsies out onto the field, giving you the final of the Prank Kid cards, being able to fusion summon as well, having whichever setup you prefer on the field to use. It's just that easy setup because we all started this with the one Prank Kid monster in the graveyard as well. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Like I said, this is a deck that I definitely practice with a lot and have enjoyed. It hasn't changed too much over the years since it's been released, but it's definitely been a fun one for sure. And the fact that we got new support in the latest pack made it all the better for sure. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. Once again, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And Kira Twig out.